Never Unarmed is all about weapons. Your natural weapons, like your fist or your elbow, your knees, your feet, all the way up to the most advanced small arms that we can legally own in this country. I'm talking about the best of assault rifles, long-range rifles, the best shotguns, and everything in between. Today, I'm going to be talking about using the bow to defend yourself. I see very little taught on how to use the bow in self-defense. And I don't know why people have ignored this, maybe for political reasons, but the recent events in our country, I think, have now changed all the parameters, and I think it's high time we talk about alternatives to firearms that are totally dependent on ammunition. The bow uses, obviously, arrows. You can craft your own arrows, you can make your own broadheads, you can make your own fletchings. Everything about the bow can be made at hand. Now, this model is a Genesis, and it's a continuous pull. In other words, it doesn't have a breakover. You might call it a fishbow if you like. And this is one that I've started to use for self-defense a lot. I'm trying to shoot it 30 times a day, every day, 6 days a week. And I believe combat archery starts just outside of the distance that someone can reach you with a handheld non-firearms weapon. Now right now I can't really be touched by a pole arm. Let's just see what that is. I say it's about 10, 12 feet, about 3 or 4 yards. So we'll take 1, 2, 3, 4 big steps and a bit. So we're maybe 12 feet away here. So the first thing you want to do, if you can, and you have time, is to get in that archer's T stance. So you've got your left foot in front and your right foot parallel to that. And you're pointing your foot at your target pretty much. You knock your arrow, you're going to use the tips of your fingers to pull it back, using your back muscles and your gut as much as possible. Till the string is next to your face, and you shoot him just like that. And you punch him right there in the chest. Pow. Now that's just a field tip. I've got a cardboard target over a piece of, I think it's about an 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch plywood for illustrative purposes. Now, what I suggest you use, follow me camera, is you start off with a bag target if you're going to use field points like this. And I would start out very, very close, 12 feet away, because I want you to learn that you can use a bow with almost no training, with almost no practice, and be effective at 12 feet, just outside of most handheld weapons that aren't firearms. And since most attacks with firearms, over 50%, occur at 5 feet or less, this is a good distance to practice with. I mean, even perhaps as many as 80 or 90% of firearms encounters occur within 7 yards, which would be the next distance that we're going to shoot at. We'll be right back. Now you can see that field point, this is a victory arrow, went in through that plywood and cardboard. It went almost up to the veins, but it was very easily extracted, and it was enough to stop it. This is not a powerful bow. You don't need a powerful bow for self-defense at close range. When I'm talking close range, I'm talking about the maximum range inside a house, which is, in my house, is about 50 feet. That's the longest distance I could possibly shoot at across my entire house. So you don't need to shoot my 74-pound monster bow. The nice thing about a continuous pull bow like this is I don't have to come to full draw. I don't have to break it over like with a compound bow, and I don't have to pull it all the way back. Well, the recurve also allows you to partially pull it back, so I should shut up there. But what I like about this is if I have even my hand isn't on the nock and I walk out here like this and I see danger, I don't even know if I pull it all the way back. I just shot. And again, I punctured him right through the high lung shot. That would have not felt good. Especially when we switch over to broadheads, which I'm going to show in a few minutes. So the advantage of this continuous pull bow, and let's talk about the Whisker biscuit here. buy these in abundance. They're cheap. Buy 10, 12, 15, 20 of them now, because they do wear out, and they're the best, fastest way, I think, to put an arrow on a rest when you're going to shoot it. There's no fooling around. You can shoot veins or feathers, it doesn't matter. They're really forgiving. They're not as accurate as some of the best breakaway rests on some of my hunting bows. I have a breakaway rest, arrow rest, and it's more accurate. But for this type of shooting, I don't think the Whisker biscuit can be beat. So you get used to just turning around and shooting. Not my best shot, but I wouldn't want to get a broadhead there. You just walk around, you turn around, and you see the target. Pow! Another lung shot. I don't take time to aim. I just look at where I want that arrow to go, and it goes. Now, this is why I suggest using a low power bow for this, because you'll be able to retract your arrows pretty darn easily. Make up these types of targets, right? So you have something to shoot at. If you can actually see a button on a shirt, shoot for a button. Now I just missed that button. Look at that. Here's the button. And I just went there. I just had a glimpse of it. But because it was aim small, miss ball, and I concentrated on it, here's the thing that I constantly talk about. Eye-hand coordination. God made us in an awesome way in his own image. And he gave us eye-hand coordination. You look and your mind does all the calculations, all the figuring out, all the trajectories, everything instantly, and you release. It's the same thing with the spear. I concentrate on where I want to hit, and I hit. There I went high of that button, but I guarantee you, you don't want to get a broadhead right there, in the side of the neck, maybe the top of the lungs. Now, there is a good theory, and the Romans employed this, and I talked about that before. There was two targets for the Roman gladius, the face and the belly. If you got stabbed in the face by a 1.5 inch wide, 1/4 inch thick gladius with a sharp point, you knew your face was going to be destroyed. Your countenance was going to be ruined for the rest of your life. You were going to be an ugly duckling at best. If you got stabbed in the guts, you knew you were going to die a long, lingering death. There was no way to fix that in those times. There was no open cavity body surgery. They couldn't go in there and sew up your entrails, and there wasn't any antibiotics to stop all the infection you were going to get. So that was a death blow. So shooting somebody in the guts with a low power bow, with a broadhead, that's quite desirable. Come back out here, I turn around and I go, blow! Either solar plexus, aorta, top of the stomach, a good spot to hit him. Now, let me tell you something. I've never practiced this before in my life. Junior and Josh would tell you, I've never set this drill up before. This is just how flippin' easy it is. You can do it. You can do it at home. You can teach your wives, your daughters, your sons, your grandkids to be very effective with a bow at close range very quickly. I'm not saying that you can teach them to shoot at 150 feet quickly, but at 12 feet, 14 feet, and you can see I didn't take any time really to aim. I just pulled that bow back. He's standing there, and I let him have it. Now, if he's hiding behind the couch or behind a wall, obviously you have to have a lot more accuracy. But anyone standing in plain sight, like this, or like this, or like that, is a huge opportunity for someone with a bow at close range to take him out. This is a lot better. This bow, here's why it fits into survival and self-defense so good. If you're out of ammo, or ammo is precious, you don't want to come in to hand strokes, this range here, if you can avoid it. Super dangerous. When you can hit him, he can hit you. But if he doesn't have a bow, and you're standing out here 12 feet away, and you go, pow! right through his lower lung, high liver shot maybe, through his glass bottle. He's in a world of hurt. So, even at this distance here, I can center punch him. Again, I look at that button, and you're gonna see me teach this a lot in shooting, about shooting very small targets at close range. It's super helpful to look at something on the body that you can see and shoot at it. I guarantee you, you'll come pretty close. If I just shoot into this mass, I don't know where it's gonna hit. But let's say I shoot for that part of the vest there. Let's see if I can hit that. I walk back, I turn around, I look just over the top, next to the button again. Now, you could see that as we've been talking here, I haven't missed him one time. I don't practice this, I've never done it before. I mostly just shoot at a bag target, at a circle, because I'm learning how to do this. But I thought it was an experiment. I just wanted to show you how easy it is to do this. Get yourself one of these low-powered, continuous bows. AMS makes them, the bow fishing company makes them. Matthew's Genesis line is really good. Look for a low power, maybe 30, 35 pounds is all you need. Most of them are adjustable. Get them in the length of pull that you need, and buy one and practice with it. Set it up with your Whisker biscuit. And it's pretty fast. I'm not speed knocking this or anything like some guys are good at doing. I look at YouTube and I'm astounded at what great archers there are. I'm only what I would say a competent hunting archer. I've killed a lot of stuff with a bow, probably nigh on to 100 animals now. And the first animal I ever killed was a big Australian buffalo at about 40 yards with a compound bow, a Matthews monster shooting fingers. I've just snuck up on a buffalo. It's a nice mature bull. Got a good shot into him. I looked a little high, but we have high hopes. And so we're following it up right now. He's gone into these trees here, and we're gonna see if we can pick up the spoor. Came in here and we tried to follow him up, and Peter had a pretty good line on him, which way he was going. And we saw him about 40 yards over that way, and he was laying here bled out. Awesome.
It is work.
Maybe it was my luckiest shot ever, but I still killed it with one shot. What I'm trying to say is that I'm not a world-class archer yet. I hope to be. I'd like to be as good as Tim Wells. Long time ago, when I first met Tim Wells, I watched him shoot in my gymnasium and said, I'm going to be like that. And after 3 days, I said, well, maybe I'm not going to be like that, because he's a million arrows ahead of me. But I strive to be that. Jerry Mikulek, another hero of mine. I'm not going to be as good as Jerry Mikulek, but I'm striving to be. Every day I train, I want to be as good as Jerry. Or even as good as Lena, his daughter. She's awesome too. She schooled me one day. But when I get schooled, I don't lick my wounds. I get up and I go back to the drawing board. I go back to the gym. I go back to training and keep working on the stuff that I wasn't good at until I get a lot better. Like my teacher, Guru Daniel Santos, says, I'm not as good as I'd like to be, but I'm a lot better than you think I am. And that's my motto. I always want to be a lot better, and you should too. Be a lot better than people think you are. So let's go back here now a little bit further. Now, we're inside the home distance, right? I get my little tee if I can. If you can't, just shove your left foot forward, pull back into your face, and shoot. There, I was a crap shot. But that's a broadhead, and you got to do that through your side at the top of your arm, you wouldn't like it. And you see how range, just that distance already, started to screw with my accuracy. I get back here. Maybe if I take a smidge more time like you do with shooting, and I shot him on the other side. My point is that even though I'm shooting pretty quickly, I'm not missing the target, and I've never done this before. Never practiced it before. Not taking a lot of time to aim. All I'm trying to do, get my fundamentals up there, pull it in close to my face, and shoot. There I did a little bit better job getting it close to my face, and I center punched him and killed him with that shot. Are you getting the idea? Again, this isn't about me trying to show skill, because I'm not as skilled as I want to be yet. But it's about me telling you, my friends, how to consider the bow in your defense strategy. Here's the cool thing about it, bow and arrow. Right now, I would have expended half a box of 357 Magnums. I used to be able to buy PMC, which is my normal practice round, 158 grain jacket, soft points for about $22 for 50. Now they're closer to $32 for 50, maybe even more. So I would have gone through $15 worth of ammunition by now, and I've used one flipping arrow. So it's far cheaper to shoot a bow than it is a pistol or a rifle. And when you get a realistic target like this, you'll be encouraged that even though you can't group them all into 3 inches, like my friend Buck could, or my friend Mark Pavner, who is awesome with the recurve and killed a lot of animals with the recurve, including a rattle or a honey badger, which was an awesome shot in the dark at 15 yards. And there I took a little bit more time to aim, went through a previous hole, off the back, and it's just an awesome way to practice. Yeah, look at my group, okay? I got one over here, but most of them here are right in here, and every one of those, we're gonna switch to a broadhead, every one of those things is gonna be flipping devastating. Right back.